in President Biden's 2022 State of the Union, he declared that it's time for the American people to get back to work. People working from home can feel safe again and begin to return to their offices. Yet this has not happened for federal workers in the federal government. According to an article in October of 2022, just last year in the Federal Times, it was said that only 1/3 of federal employees have returned to work since the start of the pandemic, and far fewer in the DC metro area. OPM obviously issued guidance in the 2021 Guide to Telework and Remote Work in the federal government, even though certain agencies rely on paper copies only accessible in the physical building. For example, the National Personnel Records Center went full remote despite the fact that all records are on paper. In fact, MPRC's extended telework policy, based on the guidance, pushed a backlog to grow to more than 600,000. Director, was there any consideration in the guidance for specific agencies and the missions that they have when talking about telework?
Well, Congressman, a part of the guidance is that agencies are the best positioned to determine what workplace arrangement is going to work. And we've, like I've been mentioning here to this committee, we've been very clear since before reentry that agencies have to ensure they have the right workplace arrangement in order to ensure good customer service and that they're delivering on their mission. So that is not something that we can dictate to agencies. It's a 2.1 million, more than 2.1 million, and there's so many different occupations in government. It's impossible to say that these are the areas. We need to be able to entrust our agency partners. They know the work the best to determine what's going to be the best arrangement.
So OPM would never, you issue, I would say, blanket guidance for all agencies, but not specific to that agency's individual requirements.
That's correct.
Do you think that, does OPM recognize the challenges associated with remote work?
Well, we certainly understand that there are challenges with with management, and that's why we've put together a government-wide training for managers on how to manage in a hybrid work environment that's actually focused on performance. That particular training, we provide resources. We issued a memo earlier this week. We have a website with resources and other support. We provide technical assistance. So we do understand, but there's been a lot of benefits as well.
Right, so but you understand, though, at least from a concept standpoint in your own guidance, that there are challenges associated with remote work from an accountability standpoint. I think you even issue that in the guidance somewhere in there. Let me see here, page 65, that there are challenges associated from an accountability standpoint with remote work. Is that correct?
Well, we come from the perspective of there's accountability whether you're in the office or whether you're remote or telework, and we want to ensure that there is an emphasis, of course, on performance management, but as well that there are, it's a balance again, Congressman, on ensuring that you're providing workplace flexibilities that we know employees want, because oftentimes there is the fear of losing individuals. And having to compete in the private sector, but also as well ensuring that that agencies have the tools and the resources to be able to manage their employees. So it is an emphasis on both.
What do you think some of the challenges of remote work are from an agency perspective?
Well, I think it's requiring managers to manage differently. And listen, But
there's also a manager monitoring their employees' conduct and progress on whatever they're working on. There's an accountability component to that too. There's a challenge. Would you agree with that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat your...
Would you agree that I mean, in your own guidance, let me just pull it up. This is probably easier. It says, to some degree, remote work may pose a greater challenge for effective performance management of remote workers for supervisors to successfully navigate within the structures and procedures, yada, yada, yada. So within your own guidance, you acknowledge that remote work poses greater challenges to those management, I gotta say upper-level management, in supervising the work of their subordinates.
Well, the way I'd like to explain that particular part of the report is that it is requiring a different set of tools and a different way of managing that we're not used to. I mean, we want to ensure managers have those tools.
Right. Obviously, people have had challenges with this. Obviously, we just highlighted NPRC's challenge. To your knowledge, has anyone ever been terminated or disciplined for abuse of remote work procedures within their agency?
I wouldn't have that information, Congressman.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I yield back.